Hello and welcome to What Makes America Tick. I'm your host, Congressman Troy Carter, and I proudly represent the best place in the country, New Orleans, Louisiana. Louisiana's 2nd Congressional District. Join me as we dive into an engaging conversation to answer the question, what makes America tick? For more than 3 decades, Essence Magazine and the Essence Festival of Culture have been a beacon of Black excellence, a cultural experience and celebration of who we are, where we've been, and where we're going. From its inception, Essence has stood as a pillar of empowerment, amplifying the voices of Black women, uplifting our community, and reminding us through every single article, every single image, every festive moment, that we love us. I am so proud to be joined today by 2 amazing leaders who will be a part of my very first inaugural show. My inaugural show of What Makes America Tick. I'm so happy to have today with me Barku Tubman Zualu and the Chief Community Officer of Essence Ventures and Mr. Kurt McDonald, the CEO of Sundown Media Group, SMG, on the show. Barku is the founder of Power Walker Global and MBL International Group and currently serves as the Chief Community Officer at Essence Ventures, where she leads global expansion and community building efforts. An entrepreneur, an international creative consultant, Barku has spent her career building bridges between Africa and the world, whether through groundbreaking campaigns, high-level governmental relations, or empowering women and girls across the border. From the U.S. music industry to the halls of the UN and presidential summits, she's helped shape global conversations around culture, equity, and leadership. Barku's legacy is rooted in both purpose and power. Her voice continues to resonate across industries, contents, and generations. Kurt McDonald leads a powerful portfolio of culturally iconic brands, including Essence, Afropunk, Refinery 29, BeautyCon, and so much more, creating impact at the intersection of media, technology, and experience. Kirk is known for his purpose-driven leadership and his deep commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yes, I said it. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Before SMG, he served as CEO of Group M North America, where he led some 6,500 people and more than $17 billion in media investment, all while launching the Media Inclusion Initiative, a game-changing effort to support underrepresented media creators. So excited to have you guys here. What an exciting time to have Barku and Kurt here to talk about Essence Magazine turning 55. Voter engagement, education, party with a purpose, and it's 30 plus years since Essence. Listen, I was a young man. As a member of the New Orleans City Council, Mark Morial was mayor of New Orleans when Essence Festival first started. We thought then that it was just going to be a one and done great party. Little did we know that Essence would continue to be the force in our lives here in New Orleans, that you'd been all over the world, that some 30 years later, we would still be celebrating this party with a purpose. So welcome, Barku and Kurt. Before we get into the meat of this, let's have a little fun. You're in New Orleans, beautiful weather. You just got in. What'd you eat today? Did you have a good meal?
We had a great meal.
Tell me about it. What'd you eat?
Actually have a bad meal.
You cannot. You'd have to look very, very hard.
Yeah. And despite the fact that we weren't trying to find a bad meal, I got to say that I was still impressed by how amazing we just had a lunch. That was a good lunch.
Well, coming to New Orleans any time of the year is a treat. Having a good meal in New Orleans is an all-time staple. But how about this beautiful weather?
Oh, yeah.
The weather is gorgeous,
yeah.
Much like it's going to be for the Essence Festival.
Always.
Great people, great food, great atmosphere, party with a purpose. So tell me, I'm so happy that you guys are here for my inaugural podcast. I could not be more excited about the great work that you do, not just during Essence, obviously. Essence Festival is a time that people come out and they enjoy the music, the food, the fun. But Essence has been a hallmark
Yeah.
particularly in the Black community, but internationally. It has meant so much for so many for so long. I remember growing up that if it was an essence, it was true. That was. Well, where'd you hear that? Oh, it was an essence. Yeah, it must be true. So let's start here. Tell me, Essence Magazine has been the cultural institution for more than 50 years.
Yeah, that's right.
For you, for us, tell us, what's the heartbeat of Essence today?
Sure. So, look, we are the oldest and only, not just magazine, but media property that has dedicated all of our energy to serving Black women. And by serving them, not because they're Black, because their need states, their life stages, the experiences they go through have a commonality to them. We have learned her, but we've also been taught by her about her needs, and we have walked side by side with her for now those 55 years. We've told her stories, we've showcased her creativity, her contributions to culture, to politics. We have reaffirmed her greatness all through this process. Now, in addition to that, we've provided and created economic opportunities for her as she has gone from not just being the CEO of home, but really becoming a CEO of business, entrepreneurship, as she has grown in her influence in the boardroom and into politics. We've been there along that journey as well. And we hope, the platform she's needed to elevate the things that she's done. Along the way, we've created things like you just mentioned, 30 years, this Essence Festival of culture, beyond just being an event that celebrates as a party. It has created experiences that have launched businesses. We've tapped into the local economy here, the creativity, the culture that is New Orleans, a culture that needs to be shared globally. And we've made sure we've done our part in creating and platforming that talent, that creativity, that energy that is New Orleans, and making sure that the world could see it. We invite hundreds of thousands of people here annually. 300,000 to 400,000 people convene around this event. Over the last 3 years, over $1 billion of economic impact left here in the city. More importantly, shared globally through billions upon billions of impressions that are seen around the globe through social media and our media platforms, all showcasing this very special moment where the culture comes together, not just to look back, but to celebrate where we are and to really get excited about our future together. So we love what we have been. We're excited about where we are, but I got to tell you, the next chapter is even greater still, and we're looking forward to the partnerships that we have to continue doing that. The Festival of Culture has been something that we've done now. This year we'll celebrate 30 years with Coca-Cola as our partner. Couldn't be more happy about what they have done, just along with the city of New Orleans, to make that a possibility. And as you mentioned, this isn't just this one moment. It isn't just the magazine when it comes out or the website when you visit it. We're actually looking to make sure that we surround this community, this audience, with attention, bringing her new needs, bringing her new services, new capabilities, new access that she is going to need for the future.
And you've done that. And when we think about the economic impact, we think about the party with a purpose, as I like to always say, because people come to the empowerment seminars, and we listen to noted speakers. We see important people to come who become touchable, real for us, yes, all because Essence brings them into view, not just as someone that we see on the silver screen or on television, but Essence has made that real. So tell me, Barku, what drives Essence to keep this up in 2025? What's that mission that keeps the candle burning?
It's the culture. It's the community. We sit in community first, and we're not here, to just, the magazine is amazing, right? Everybody knows the magazine. We love the magazine, but we really are a global community, and we understand that. And we understand that what we do throughout the year and what our community experiences throughout the year culminates here at the Essence Festival of Culture, and we understand that. So we, as Kirk says, we build with the community. So what drives us to do that is the community, is her, is where she is. How do we need to serve her? How do we partner with her? How do we celebrate her? And that really is the driving force behind how all of these themes are created, how all of our platforms, because it's the magazine, it's digital, as Kirk talked about us having 300 to 400 people physically on the ground, the impressions and the access virtually expands globally as well. And so we understand the importance of making sure she knows that there is a home we create where whoever has access to her is governed, and she trusts us. We have integrity with her, and we make sure that our partners understand that. So what drives it really is her.
Yeah, and we see that because your presence has made such a difference that movies were made after a girls trip. People now,
Sure.
as a result of Essence and the girls trip, you see gaggles of women who come together as friends, who are college roommates, or someone getting married, or someone celebrating a divorce or a marriage, to come to New Orleans to celebrate Girls Trip and to do all the things that Essence talks about, the empowerment of the Black woman, the beauty of the Black woman, the essence, pun intended, of that beauty and the history that comes with it, as an ever-present.
And so you've tapped into really what we think is this next chapter, right? So the next chapter is more than a media company, more than a single media property or a destination. Our real superpower, the real thing we've done is we've tapped into human connections. We're a human connections company, and those connections happen in real life here in New Orleans, and we celebrate that with the city. We celebrate that with Coca-Cola, who has sponsored the festival. But we want to make sure that we take that now and we make sure that it's available in a way that these communities, these members of that community feel connected all year long. How do you actually experience that in a way that, whether it's community banking, whether it's community commerce activities, how do we actually give the community the platform and the power it needs to really own and shape its future, so that things aren't done to the Black woman, things aren't done for her, but she does the things for herself. She creates the opportunities for herself, and we believe that's what the next chapter of Essence has to become. It has to go from being media company to being a full empowerment platform. The things that we have done over the years have to now become something that is enabled through technology and artificial intelligence in a way that we actually are where she grounds her feet to elevate for the next.
You both have a front row seat. Black culture, business, fashion, politics. What are some of the trends that you see in how Black women are shaping these spaces, especially politically? We've seen Kamala Harris, who was a stone's throw from becoming the first African-American President of the United States. We see Ketanji Brown, a Supreme Court justice. We see more African-American women in the United States Senate than ever before. In my humble opinion, Essence has made a lot of that possible because you have brought to us a level of reality to Black success. It's not on the shelf. It's not make-believe. It's real. It's tangible, largely because of what you've brought from the pages, now digitally, and to the festival, to let our young boys and girls, particularly young girls, see what they can be.
Yeah. You want to take this one?
I can start. I'll certainly finish, because I think what we're no longer doing as Black women and what we see them and how we see them, nobody's waiting for permission anymore.
Yeah.
We're no longer waiting for permission. We know who we are.
Intentional beauty.
Intentional intellect. That's your thing. That's right. And I think that is a very powerful thing, because when you know your value, even if you may not know how to get to where you want to go, but you understand that there is value in who you are, you start looking differently for the things that you need to connect with. And I think what we do is understand the need states and where they are and where we are as a state, right, globally, and make sure that we provide those resources. So we don't use the word "we're here to help her." She's already empowered.
That's right.
We just need to provide the resources and the access, and also listen, to her as well, because she also knows exactly what she needs. And what she needs in New York is different than what she needs in Louisiana. And what she needs in Louisiana is different than what she might need in Africa. So we listen, and she's no longer asking for permission. She's showing up. So
you enhance and amplify.
I love that.
Enhance and amplify.
There you go.
So, Kurt, as we celebrate the 55th anniversary of Essence magazine, how would you say Essence has impacted the Black community in the country, and what do you think will happen in the past 5 and the next 5?
Again, and you touched on this, Barku touched on this, Essence has always been at the forefront of rights movements, right? How does female empowerment, the community empowerment, matter and shape the future? I think we are there again, where rights are being challenged, questioned for that community. We're here to make sure that, as you said, her voice, her intentionality, her direction is amplified, and that she feels very much in control of what happens next. That's the role that we think we can provide. We can give her the platform to shape that. As the example, during last year, we launched and hosted Paint the Polls campaign, along with the Global Black Economic Forum, Girls United, Afropunk, BeautyCon, Refinery 29. We used our entire portfolio, including the News Voices Foundation, and over the course of 2 months hosted town hall series designed to inform and mobilize and protect voting rights in these communities that are sometimes underappreciated or underrepresented, and definitely are feeling headwinds opposed to getting their voices out. Those efforts, that effort to platform and amplify the work that is happening at the grassroots, at the local level, is another important role that we think goes forward. I mean, that is what will shape the future, and we're here to again bring tools, technology, provide an honest environment, a trusted partner, a trusted friend, in making sure those voices are heard.
So as we celebrate this 55th year milestone, give us a gander into your crystal ball. Give us a gander into your crystal ball. We know that Essence has had incredible impact on the Black community in our country all over for the past 5 decades. Give us an idea of your goals and aspirations for the future of Essence.
So I think it's wrapped in our theme, right? So as we come into this year's festival, the theme is Made Like This. It is actually a celebration of the full diversity of our community. We are made in every way. We're not a monolithic thing. It connects to our greater brand message, which is about community, which is we love us, because we love us almost regardless of whether you love us or not. We love us is a full sentence. It's a full paragraph. It is the beginning and end. It is not a criticism or a challenge. It is nothing more than an invitation, because we are going to have that joy. That means that we're comfortable with who we are, comfortable with the ways that we're made, and we're excited about celebrating us and our impact. That's what the invitation is right now. So whether it is to join us here in this amazing city of culture, or to participate in the community through all of our other human connection touch points, that is the celebration. That is the portfolio of properties that we've got. That is the celebration that the Essence Festival of Culture, along with our partner Coca-Cola, is all about going forward.
Yeah, that's powerful. Barku, as the Chief Community Officer at Essence, our community has embraced Essence in a way. There were 2 magazines growing up, Essence and Jet. And if it was an Essence or Jet, it was gospel. It was gospel. And every beauty tip and the essence of a beautiful Black woman is Essence magazine. You guys, some 30 years ago, blessed the city of New Orleans with your presence. what we thought would be a short stay has turned into 30, and we're waiting for 30 more. 30 plus, we want 30 more. That's the commitment that we like to have with you. Your uplifting, empowering Black community means a lot. What does it mean to you to look back now and see the fruit of your labor, particularly being the chief community officer? So you're the person that really has your hand on the little girl and on the playground to the young girl who's graduating high school, college, or medical school.
Well, first of all, it's an honor and a privilege, and it's really big because Essence, I'm a little girl from Liberia. I'm originally from West Africa, and we had Essence, and we knew Essence then. And so to be a part of this legacy and this iconic cultural architect that is Essence, and now get to play at the table in the Essieverse, as we call it, serving these women, and not just them, but really their community. So what I love is that Kirk really talked about it, is you can't serve her without serving the people and the things she care about, right? So I think, for us, our core of our community engagement and what we know that is super important as we now build for the future, and just even looking back at the past, we've always sat in the center and making sure, is she well? Wellness has always been and will continue to be like the nucleus of what we must lean into if we want her to scale. So, our engagement is commitment to holistic wellness, mental, physical, financial, mindfulness. So when I think about where I came from, and I look at where we are today, especially in the state of the state, and we know those 92% of Black women who saw a different future and see where we are, we 100% will continue to anchor in making sure that little Barku is given the tools so she's well as she navigates this space. And I think...
Can I pause you there for a second and talk a little bit about that mental health piece? Because we see mental health playing itself out in real time. And we see the influence that social media has and the pressures that our young people have. Just a few days ago, we had a beautiful young lady at one of our local universities to take her own life. We just saw an LSU player take his own life. We saw just recently a 10-year-old kid take her own life. Essence has been such a strong force in giving positive imagery. And I know that as we move forward, we talk about mental health as a real serious issue. And I know that Essence, while it is a magazine about beauty and about culture, it's about serious stuff. And it's important that you, me as a member of Congress, you guys as the voices and faces of a major publication, to give light to this issue of mental health, because oftentimes people, particularly in our community, we think, oh, there's something wrong with you if you say you've got mental health. Well, there's nothing wrong with you if you have anxiety, depression, or other issues. Like blood pressure, you take a pill, you exercise, you modify your diet, and you get better.
Yeah.
But we think with mental health, we stick our head in the sand and it'll go away. Tell me a little bit about that very deep part of Essence that really speaks to not just the beauty, but the heart and soul of people.
I love the fact that you touched on that, because this is the issue. This is the thing. We've got to pour into the community. We've got to pour into it, not just as a group, but as individuals. And each person is on a different journey. And mental health and overall health and wellness is that bigger, broader topic. We know in our communities, whether it's infant mortality rates, it's incidence of heart disease, it is blood pressure issues, and mental health issues that sometimes our cultural bias has us have a stigma around. We've got to take a different approach. And the approach that is right for everyone else is not the approach that is right for our community. We've taken that on very seriously and are committed to doing that as we continue down the path of providing content, but also access. That is, we've got to actually give our community access to opportunities that they don't normally see for themselves. And it's not just the economic opportunities. It's not just the educational opportunities. communities. Some of it is tied directly to access to right health providers that fully understand the needs of our community. Now, don't get me wrong. We are still the celebration that is the Festival of Culture. And then to do it in this amazing city of New Orleans, we couldn't be more excited about that. But know that when you come to something like Festival this year or any other places you touch us, you will not just get this year, the Essence Food and Wine Festival will be kicking off. You're not just going to get a BeautyCon experience or the film festival, which has happened here. We're bringing it back. But you're also going to get access to these services that we are really beginning to amplify on the platform.
Meat and potato, real issues that impact
substantive
people's
things.
Lives. Fun,
Exactly.
yes. Culture, yes. Beauty, yes. But because those are the hooks, you take advantage of those hooks.
Right.
So while I've got you,
That's the purpose.
let's talk about
That's
fatherhood.
the purpose.
Let's talk about motherhood. Let's
That's
talk
right.
about mental health.
There you
Let's
go.
talk about job preparedness. Let's
right.
talk about being exposed to the things in life that will make you a more contributing part. Let me ask you. Essence is, and pardon my phraseology, but you recall this in a second when Barack Obama passed the Affordable Care Act, better known as Obamacare, and Joe Biden, his vice president at the time, whispered in his ear and said, "This is a big blank deal."
Yeah.
Having you here is a big blank deal. Having you in New Orleans, having you here for this podcast, how do you stay grounded? How do you stay grounded? You both are beautiful, smart, very approachable individuals. They're very successful at the top of the food chain in corporate America, but you're very approachable, very real, and I can feel your sincerity and the energy for our people, for our city, for your craft. How do you stay grounded?
You know what? If I could speak on behalf of all the members that make up our team, not just at Essence, but across the Sundial portfolio of media properties and the broader company, if you simply look outside at a time like this, if not us, who?
Yeah.
And if not now, then when?
Yeah.
And that is, no matter what you may think when you look in the mirror, if that doesn't bring you right back down to the work that needs to be done, then you are in the wrong seat. If not now, who else? We've been here 55 years. But if not us, I don't know who understands this community in this depth, with this gravitas. So who else? We must do for ourselves. We must love us.
Nothing about us without us.
Nothing about us without us.
So when we talk about the talking heads of Cape News, depending on which station you look at, you think you're living in another world. Media outlets like Essence give us unfettered access to facts, knowledge-based information, culture, healthcare about our communities. So as we go, particularly Black women are critical voting blocks as we go forward. In your view, how has Essence contributed and will continue to contribute to voter engagement? Because we know empirically when we vote, we win. Yet we continue to not vote at the numbers that we should. Essence has used its tool and its voice. How do you see yourself enhancing that going forward as we advance into the next series of elections, rather they be federal elections, local or state?
I think we have to continue being
and not necessarily partisan, but just from a standpoint of voter education. Issue-based, not to pick winners or losers, not to pick candidates, but to use your voices to encourage people to vote, to encourage people to be more in tune with the policies that are being made, because sometimes people say, oh, my vote doesn't matter. But I tell people, when you don't vote, you voted for the worst person on the ballot.
That's right.
So you've got to be engaged.
So I love the way you've described that. This is the opportunity for us to continue championing the thing we've always championed, which is voter education. Just know what you're voting for. Know some history on who you're voting for, and then know the impact of what your vote is going to cause to happen at the local level, at the federal level. that will continue to be the amplification we do. I think that there's more work to be done than what we've done. And I'm very proud of what we did over the last, not even last year, but over the last decade in terms of continuing to champion voting rights and calling attention to the times where our rights are under attack, all of our rights. So you'll see more of that going forward in new formats. So just as you're doing today, I'm excited for you. I'm excited for your new podcast. I'm excited because we need more voices like this, more people that have the courage to stand up and say what they believe and then show that they believe what they have said in their behaviors and actions. We want to do more of that. You'll see us take a more active role in launching a couple of podcasts and programs that will continue to support the education of the voting bloc, this voting bloc that we think is so important. And we're going to do that going forward, really taking on the issues unique to our communities.
And just to add, like, to also make sure that it's also multi-generational, right? And we're not speaking to one group made like this. We are not a monolith. When we had Paint the Polls Black, we had guests from streamers. Yeah, who had information to share with people who could understand and consume that content from them in that way. We had Representative Jasmine Crockett. We had, so it was a diverse group of voices coming to educate the diverse group of Black people in the country. It wasn't, we have Girls United. That is our platform that speaks to that. Millennials, the youth, right? And so they consume and they share information differently. And we need to make sure that, and we're very cognizant and aware and intentional about the different platforms that are coming out. So even the guests that show up on something that might look like it could very well be on any other talking head, but we do it intentionally to make sure that that education piece, the information is being given out in a way that everybody can really consume it, and it's palatable and they can regurgitate it and hopefully use it.
So now tell me what, as a member of Congress who served in local government, who served in state government, what can we do better? Because we want to partner. We want to make sure that we use you use us, and we figure out how to build a stronger community. Yeah. And being a native New Orleans who was here from the very beginning when Essence first came to town all the way to now, I'm excited to have been a part of every step of that. But you've led the way. We've just been good partners, but you led the way. How can we, as elected officials, rather state, local, or federal, how can we use our voices and our platforms to amplify the great work you're doing?
I will say it is more of what you've done, and this isn't to turn into a compliment session. Right now, we want more officials to say on the record what they plan to do, how they plan to participate in the future of their constituents, in the future of their local government, in their state government, and what's happening at the federal level. Be on record to say it. Don't avoid your town halls. Be there to have the conversation. Take our challenging questions because we plan to challenge you. And challenge you because we actually have to, as a community, make sure that the decisions you're there making and are advocating for are in support of our community. There is so much disinformation and misinformation out there. We need you and more like you on record. That is the partnership we would ask for as we move into this next era of what we are as a human connections company. Allow us to connect you with the voting bloc that you represent and the constituents you care about. You need us there because you need an objective participant that actually can challenge the history of your voting record, can challenge the behaviors that you exhibit, not just the rhetoric of what you say. And expect Essence to continue doing that. Expect us to do that with our community around Afropunk, this community of creators who are living right at the edge of innovation and culture. Expect us to do that across our other properties like Refinery 29, speaking to non-Black and to Latin communities and making sure that you're there representing yourself. You're going to get calls from us, so take those calls. We will invite you to our platform as we are so humbled to be invited to yours today. And let's participate in that dialogue. More dialogue is what this country is going to benefit from, and we're excited to do that with you.
The beauty of that is an ongoing dialogue. And I like to tell people all the time, I call balls and strikes.
Love it.
I call balls and strikes I apologize if I step on your toe. I apologize if you didn't like it, but I'm always going to tell you the truth.
I appreciate
and
it.
This podcast will be about what makes America tick, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and how do we make it better.
That's right.
As you mentioned, not just a complimentary come on full of fluff. We're talking about real stuff. We're complimenting you because you deserve it.
Yeah.
Because you've earned it.
Yeah.
And it's important that we give, as we say in the South, we give you roses while you're living because you've earned it and you've done a good job and we appreciate it. But if you color outside the lines, we're going to tell you that too. And if you start to go in the wrong direction, you say, we're going to tell you about it because otherwise we're not doing each other any good. The theme for this year's Essence Festival, and I love it, Made Like This. Tell me what's behind it. I have my own ideas, but tell me what yours, and I'll share you a little bit of mine.
So we call it a cultural affirmation. It's not a theme because themes can go away, but we want something people can live by. We want something that they buy into. We want something that they're reminded of who they are, right? So if you know you're made like this, a lot of us Christians, we know whose we are, right? So we're made like this. Yeah. But as Black people, we are aware of how we show up in every industry all the time. And there is not one that we're not in where we don't show up at the top of that food chain, whether we get the credit or not. And so Made Like This is a cultural affirmation that reminds us to remember who we are, where we are, and how we will continue to evolve, grow, take over, continue to thrive, and we deserve to be there because by the virtue of being born who we are, we are made like this.
I like it. Made like this, and I'll give you my own spin, and why I love it so much is because, we oftentimes find ourselves emulating other people, other things.
Yeah, that's right.
Made like us, we're beautiful just like we are. You're beautiful just like you are. God made you as light or as dark as he wanted you to be, as tall, as short as he wanted you to be. And we've got to celebrate who we are. Mm-hmm. We're made like this, and we're proud of it.
I love that.
And the beauty of being able to say, yes, this is who I am, and I'm proud of it. I'm not trying to be any better version of anybody else but me.
That's right.
Not competing with you, not competing with that. I wish you the absolute best, and I love your success, but I'm just me.
That's right.
And that's a wonderful thing.
You've got it. You've just nailed it.
So listen, let's talk a little bit about the concert. Ooh. So I see Glorilla headline in Essence. Glorilla, come on now. For the first time this year, and I got to ask, how do you balance the boldness of modern hip hop with the legacy of Essence and the brand rooted in empowerment, elegance, and tradition?
Listen, I'm giving this one to Barku because again, there is both an art and a science to curating what we think is a concert that is disruptive, celebratory of our legends, inspirational, that captures both headliners to emerging talent, and you along with other members of our team are the artists behind that. So I'm gonna give you the stage.
I'd like to just be a fly on the wall when these decisions are being made. I'm not sure how you arrived at
There's
it.
several walls, not just one, because we understand that the thing when you have a brand that's lived one way for 55 and including another way for 30, but then you have to look at the future.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. So it is a science.
Yeah.
And long phone calls.
We have an intern that works here as well.
Lots of egos.
No. We've got
egos.
no.
Not on your side. I mean, on the other side.
Well, for us, so again, some of my background is artist management. So
and that's where I'm at. Okay.
Yeah. So I yes, there's the egos there.
Trust me, there's egos in Washington too. So I know that.
Yes. So for us, it is always that fine line on making sure we respect
the talent. Yeah.
We respect the talent. We respect this platform, and we ensure that after you've gone through all of the culture and the learning and the purpose and the activations that empower you and have you connect to these very people that you normally only see on TV. Yeah. You have this beautiful thing that happens in the convention center that gives you close proximity to people you never get to be so close to. Now we got to go celebrate. Yeah. And so when we think about it this way, we think about it and we say, what is this experience that, the Essence lifer who's been coming here since it started 30-year-olds can bring her granddaughter.
Yeah.
Right. And what can her granddaughter teach her also while she's in that space? So how do you merge generation, respecting the culture, the legends, the icons, and the disruptors, but staying true to the mission, and educating each other while you're having an amazing time. So it's a combination of all of those things that really come together and making sure we don't blur the lines. And sometimes you do blur the lines because, you're dealing with artists and you are dealing with egos. And so you want to curate something that makes you feel a specific way every time you walk out of there. And so we design it to be that. And as we celebrate 55 years, we're celebrating.
And you're keeping it real. So it's authentic. It's not manufactured. It's the beauty is it's an authentic discussion of our culture, of our history, of our beauty, and the artists which bring their own unique flair.
Correct. By the way, I just want to touch on something because I didn't want it missed. This is a powerful secret. This is part of our secret sauce. Most concerts curate to, I'll use the phrases, curate either to the aunties or the nieces.
Yes.
We actually curate an event that the aunties can bring the nieces, and both the aunties and nieces can party together. That's the magic of why a festival like this and the events that we do at night are different. In the day, their souls are fed. In the day, their economic values are reinforced. In the day, they think about health and wellness. They wander the convention floor. They see artists creating. They see creators in SoCo Marketplace. They go and see our brand sponsors who come and say, this is the experience of being in. This is why Coca-Cola is committed to the community. This is why, these beauty brands are committed to your needs, specifically you. And then they go party at night. But remember, we've got the aunties and the nieces.
Yeah.
So you need to actually put on a party that both of them can be jamming out to from the time they arrive till they go to bed at night. And that is the thing that makes our mix
And the
different.
uniqueness of an Essence Festival is the holistic approach.
Correct.
It comes full circle.
Correct.
It feeds every aspect. It is the quintessential holistic party with a purpose where you're getting spiritually fed.
That's right.
You're getting culturally fed. You're talking about your life, your lifestyle. And what I'm proud to say is you're connecting with our community.
And you get to turn up a little
And
bit.
you get to, and listen, and let's face it, I'm from New Orleans. We know how to party. So it's not just about it's a fun party, and it segues perfectly to what I want to ask now.
Yeah.
So we've talked about all the great stuff. We talked about partying, turning it up, having a good time, all the stuff that Essence does. We talked about the culture enrichment. We talked about the substance. Give us a little peek. Can we get a little peek into Essence 2025? Don't give any trade secrets, but give us a little something and just.
You started with a talent lineup. You started with a little bit of that, and I think that that's part of the secret sauce. Is I think for us, one of the things that I cannot wait for you all to start experiencing. Right, we know everybody knows there's an amazing concert that happens at the Superdome every year. What we want people to lean into is the culture. That the soul of Essence Fest is also that economic empowerment, and that the fuel, as Kirk says. I like that. That's happening in that convention center. And
you call it fuel. We call it gumbo.
I love it.
I love it. The gumbo. The gumbo that happens in that convention center and a footprint around the city of New Orleans, right? And one of the things that we hope people are really appreciating and loving right now is, you can see how our new creative is coming up. We're really leaning into culture. We're really tapping into the beauty that is the soul of this city as well, that really collectively allows, what we bring and what the city brings to really become that explosive gumbo.
And of course, I'm a little biased, but New Orleans has a culture and a spirit like none other. Now, of course, I admit that I'm biased, but I think most people who visit, who've never been here before, people who come every year agree that the spirit, the culture, the food, the people is a very unique experience. And I think it's a perfect marriage. So I'm going to give kudos for you recognizing 30 plus years ago that this is a marriage that had staying power. And we're happy to still be a part of that. Let's have a little fun as we start closing.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Go for it.
So we talked about this a little bit about being the fly on the wall when some of these negotiations and planning and all that stuff goes. So tell me, what is the craziest and most memorable thing ever happened backstage at Essence Fest that you're actually allowed to speak on a podcast?
Hmm.
While you think about it, you want to kick in or you want to just feed on each other?
I'm
And it can be-
gonna give Barku an opportunity to think about what she's allowed to say.
Yeah.
By
Yes.
You talked a little bit about some of the artists this year. Some of the things that we're really excited about. We love that Maxwell's going to be here this year.
Yes.
He is a special auntie and niece
Yeah.
guest. We love the fact that there is a planned presentation, recognition of the legacy of the music of Quincy Jones that Jermaine
Yes.
Dupri and Surprise Partners are planning to do. That's going to be really special.
Now that's a peak of the tent that'll get people excited.
I mean,
That's a
Yes.
just think of again, you've got a legend, and then you've got a legend. Representing the story of a legend. So we're excited to see Jermaine Dupri come and do that. I would also call out Mooney Long. Mooney Long is going to be pretty exciting this year, so really excited about her work. And there's more surprises to come.
more surprises. You thought of something you want to share with us? I'll give you a pass if you want to.
So I also must, because we're in New Orleans. I got to talk about Master P.
Oh,
Master
that's
P.
right.
I got Master P, and he's bringing back, and he's got an announcement, but I'm not gonna stay here because I don't want to spoil it. But I promise you don't want to miss it because I don't know when you'll see it again.
Master P is a native son. We love Master P. You may have seen that he recently started the Walk of Fame, where they're highlighting notable New Orleanians and people that have contributed greatly to our city and state. He's the real deal.
And I want to touch on the fact that while it's 55 years of Essence, there are a bunch of other anniversaries that we should that will make the event that much more special. Master P's got an anniversary.
Yes.
The city has an anniversary that we want to touch on this year.
We're going to be doing a lot of celebrating.
This is going to be.
Let me ask you this. One. I'll let you off that one. I'll give you an easier.
Well,
I think it's easier.
Just because there's really not. I mean, listen.
I caught you.
Backstage is a movie. Backstage, backstage is always a movie. We partner with these. We call them partners. There are.
I'm going to respect the sanctity of what happens backstage. Stays backstage.
Appreciate that. It's like Vegas.
I respect that.
what happens backstage.
So, but here's an easier one. If Essence had a congressional dream team,
Ooh.
who are the three politicians, past or present?
Ooh.
I'm not baiting a gift for myself, so don't take me out of it. Give me three people, past or present, that you'd want to see grace the main stage at Essence, and tell me why.
Wow.
Would it be a John Lewis who said, "Get in good trouble"?
He would be amazing.
Wow, you just helped us right there. So we'll take that simply because.
Could it be a Shirley Chisholm who said, "If you're not at the table, you're on the menu"?
Unbossed.
And when unboss, and if there's no seat for you at the table, bring a folding chair. We're talking about Maxine Waters, who is you talked about Auntie.
Yeah.
She is the world-class
She's the
auntie of
ultimate
everyone
auntie of everything.
who says, reclaiming my time.
That's right.
These are tough brothers and sisters
That's right.
that have lived. And now we have the next class of the Jasmine Crockett of the world, of the Delisha Boyd, who is an outstanding leader right here in our community, or a Hakeem Jeffries, who is going to be our next and first African-American Speaker of the House.
Yes.
So when you think about those people,
And
stop thinking about who you want.
we need a congressman for senior to do a little hosting at that event, don't you?
I feel like that was a question about to you.
Well, that was very nice and generous. I wasn't baiting for it. I damn sure appreciate it.
Well, somebody got to host that party.
So I'm gonna end with another little quick game.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it works. Podcasts should be fun, right?
Yes,
They
sir.
should talk about real stuff, but people should want to stay and listen and say, this has been a good, entertaining, but educational experience. Let's play a little quick game. I'm going to say a word, and you tell me the first thing that comes to mind. No thinking, no jive, no vibes, no hints, no traps. It's just fun. Empowerment.
Movement.
Women.
Legacy.
Parkour.
Women.
Beyonce.
Rihanna.
Headliner.
Ballot.
Ooh.
Ballot.
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 Westmore.
I like it.
I don't have one there yet. Too many to name.
Hair. I didn't plan it that way. It just ended up like that. As he rubs his head.
Low humidity.
Low humidity. And I'm going to add what God made.
What God made. Ooh, better than can I give a thoughtful answer to air? Made like this.
There you go.
Like this. Damn right. Community.
Essence.
Resilience.
We love us.
Congress. Brunch. Gotta end with food. Crawfish etouffee and champagne.
Done. Done.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a fantastic time that's gone way too fast. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and want to hear more, please share it with others. Post about it on social media or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from me, you can follow me on all of my official platforms at Rep Troy Carter and subscribe to my newsletter at troycarter.house.gov. Thanks again, and laissez-les bon tout rouler. A big, big round of applause for Essence and all that you bring.
All right.
Laissez-les bon tout
Thank you.
rouler. Thank you. See you next time.
See you next time.
Thank you.